It's time for the Dog and Pauly podcast on FingerLakes1.com, featuring Harold Webb Dog Weber and Paul Hellstrom.
It is a Wednesday, August the 8th, 2012. Farm Days is underway. Some 80 to 100,000 people coming to the area the next couple days. Can you believe that one? It's a gorgeous Wednesday morning, and we welcome you to the Dog and Pauly show. I guess the bad news is my co-partner Paul is off today, so I'm here along with Bob Fuller, general manager and head pro at the Seneca Falls Country Club, and we welcome you on a Wednesday morning. But we also have a special guest via phone, and I have had the ability, or I guess the smartness, to follow a good event up there in Geneva, New York, where my wife hails from, the Geneva City Golf Championship, a tournament that's steeped in tradition. And Bill McDermott joins us via phone from Geneva. Bill, good morning. Welcome to our show. Good to have you on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No problem, Bill. Of course, it's synonymous with watching the Finger Lakes Times and looking at local golf scores as they print the scores from various clubs. Your name is always listed up on top or near the top of shooting low scores. So obviously, you bring a lot of golf game, and you had the good pleasure of knocking off a former student of yours, Matt Dijon, who was going for 3 in a row. Talk about it. You had the 36-hole final on Sunday, and, of course, as Bob can point out, that he had the big cash bonanza at the Seneca Falls Club. You guys were looking at threatening skies, and I doubt you even thought you would get it in on Sunday with the weather forecast.
Oh, we were very lucky to get it in. There seemed to be storms all around us. We started out at Geneva. We knew we'd get the 18 holes in at Geneva, but it was kind of we were a little worried about the second 18 over at Seneca Lake Country Club. Well,
I was in Buffalo all day, and I was checking the skies out. It was horrific, and it looked like I didn't think there was a chance in the world of golf being played in any part of New York State. So I kind of guess you got lucky. Talk a little bit about, we got Bill McDermott, the champion of the Geneva City Golf Championship. Bill, this is a tournament that's steeped in tradition. It's, over 40 years in its making. You guys play for a trophy, I believe, named after Mr. Brennan. It's something that you and Matt and a lot of the Geneva Golf Club members, along with Seneca Lake and Big Oak, you guys up there really take great pride in playing in that event. Explain the importance of playing in that tournament. I know it brings a lot of memories to you guys.
We do. We have great pride just to be able to play in it. There's a lot of great names that are on the trophy, like you said, going back about 40 years. And every year, the talent in the tournament just keeps getting harder and harder and better and better. The best part about the tournament is it's match play, so anybody can beat anybody in a format like that. And each match is 18 holes leading up to the championship round, and then there's 36 at the end. And like you said, just the tradition and everything that goes along with the tournament, it makes everybody want to be involved with it in some point or some aspect.
Now, talk a little bit about your background. Where were you born? Where you went to school? And what you're currently doing for an occupation?
I was born and raised in Geneva. I went to school on a golf scholarship to St. Peter's College in Jersey City, New Jersey. And then I came right back up here after I was an education major, and I currently teach at the middle school of the Geneva City School District, and I'm also the golf coach. And a couple of my players were in the tournament this year, and we are actually going for our 10th straight league title at Geneva High this year.
That's impressive. Now, way back when you coached a young man named Matt Dijon, did you think that this young man had the promise and the talent skills to be as good as he's turned out to be? I've never met the young man, but I've talked to a lot of people that know Matt and say he's a great kid. Talk a little bit about your association with Matt.
Oh, Matt's a great player, but he's also a great individual. He's got the head for the game, that's for sure. He's got talent. He's worked at it all the way up. He was on the Geneva High golf team as a 7th grader, and he continued to grow and work at every aspect of the game. And he currently is in college right now on a golf scholarship at Central Connecticut. And he has, like I said, he's very talented. He hits the ball a long way. He makes a lot of birdies, and it was an honor to play with him, and I had to play my best golf to beat him, that's for sure.
Well, certainly, and of course, working in Geneva, certainly the situation with DeSales just announcing that they're closing the doors, obviously that's going to be a win for Geneva High. You'll get more athletes to choose from as well. as sad as that is.
Right.
Yeah.
As sad as that is, it is the sports program at Geneva High has always been strong. I can speak for the Geneva High golf program. We've been lucky enough to keep filling in every year due to the golf program at Big Oak Golf Course and especially at Geneva Country Club, where I also work at. John Ross, the professional out there, has a great junior golf program, and we're lucky to have 20 to 30 kids that participate in that every year. And the participation in the golf program is phenomenal. We can't ask for better. A great feeling for the game and a great understanding of what it means to be part of the program.
Well, listen, we got to ask you about two topics before we let you go. Never seen you play golf. Obviously, I've seen your scores. Obviously, you obviously got a lot of golf game, which is great. Talking to Bob and Jimmy before we went on the air this morning, the controversy about the long putter. Do you use a long putter hinged to your belly, or do you just use a conventional putter?
I just use a conventional putter. I switched about 10 years to cross-handed, and I've been doing that ever since. But I have a conventional putter. Let
me ask you your opinion. Obviously, you got game. What do you think about the R&A and the USGA almost making it official, even though they're going to announce it in the next few months, that they're going to outlaw the long putter, which hinges to your belly? Any touching of your body will be deemed illegal. What's your thoughts about them putting an end to the long putter? It won't take effect, as you know, Bill, for a few years. They move slow on this stuff. But did you think it was coming to that?
That's right. Well, you see, the last couple of weeks, a lot of the winners have been long putters. And I personally have never tried to use one. Mm-hmm. But, I really don't see an issue with it. There's a lot of different ways that people putt and a lot of different techniques that people use. This is just another way so that you don't break down. They obviously see that there's an issue with it, and they're going to make a judgment on it. But it was the same thing with last year with the wedges being changed and everything else. They're just trying to level the playing field and figure out something that would help out the game.
Well, Bob Fuller's joined us, and Bob can chime in. Bob talked about some good aspects as well. There's been controversy about the golf ball, doing something about the golf ball and not letting it fly so long. And also the golf clubs, they seem to avoid that controversy, and now they're zeroing in on the long putter. So I guess there's probably a lot of housekeeping they could probably do if they wanted to, but they're sort of leaving the golf ball and the clubs alone.
That's right. I mean, it's interesting. Like I said, they're trying to make everything level and to make everything that everybody has a chance. And the way people are hitting the ball nowadays and the way that the courses are just getting eaten up, they realize that they do have to make some changes, I guess.
I remember when they went to Metalwoods from Woodwoods.
Yeah, that's right.
The tailor-made burner was like one of the first ones, and it was heavy, too. If you could hold one of those today, it would feel almost like a hammerhead on the end of that thing. But and then, things have just progressed, and they're going to continue to progress. But I guess they have to rein it in somehow. And a lot, Bob and Billy, a lot of the guys that when I was younger, there was such a clear division between the really good players and the rest. And that was back when there were wooden clubs and, different golf balls. Nowadays, it seems like so many more people can compete with the best players at our club.
Yep.
Maybe they can't do it on a consistent basis every round, but they can, on any given day, shoot that low score. And it's because of the equipment. So I think that's a good thing, that you get more people being able to enjoy playing golf at that level of, the mid to low 70s. But when I was a kid, boy, there was an elite number of players, and they all had great swings, because with the old equipment, you had to have the good swing to be able to play.
That's what makes, Bill's achievement even better, because, when he talks about, more people have more chances.
Right.
It's the equipment that brings a lot more people and gives them better chances. So, Bill, you did a great job. And
Bill, certainly you've been there quite a while playing out of Geneva. Certainly you watch it and you see them on the driving range, kids that maybe you didn't pay close attention to their game, and all of a sudden a couple years later they're hitting the ball a lot farther and a lot straighter, and you probably smile and say, maybe they got the skill sets, but the equipment has not hurt them as well.
Right. Well, the technique is very important, but like you said, you have to keep up with the technology. If you don't, you're setting yourself back a little bit. with the drivers and the irons and the balls and everything else. It's just you do have to keep up with the times, or else you're going to be a little bit behind everybody else.
Bill McDermott's on the line, the newly crowned Geneva City Golf Champion. We welcome him to the show. Before we let you go, we got to ask you a couple questions about the PGA, which starts tomorrow morning. Kiawah Island in South Carolina. First time South Carolina has hosted a major. Yesterday they got deluged off the ocean. And first off, I got to ask you your opinion. I was talking to Bob. I kind of broke a news story here to Bob and to Jimmy this morning. I was watching some interviews by the USGA, and the head of the PGA, not USGA, announced that all of the sand on that golf course, Bill, they're playing it through the green and allowing all pros starting tomorrow morning in this tournament to ground your club, treat it like a waste bunker. Even though there are defined bunkers around some of those greens, you can still ground your club and treat it like a waste bunker, taking a practice swing. Obviously, it's been controversial, and my good friend Bob wasn't aware of it, but I saw it last night. As a matter of fact, I saw it because it was an interview done by the head of the PGA. Your thoughts on that, allowing the pros to not consider any sand an actual bunker?
Well, it's pretty interesting. I know they had there was an issue with a couple of years ago.
Dustin Johnson.
I think it was Dustin Johnson.
Yep.
Might have grounded his club in one of the waste bunkers in a major before, and
right.
I guess they don't want to have the same problem. And it's really difficult to determine which, if some of those were waste bunkers,
right,
or bunkers. So rather than have that problem, just let them ground the club. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, most of them probably won't even ground the club anyways, because they're so used to not doing it. But it's interesting that happens.
You bring up that point, Webb Simpson, one of the better bunker players. Of course, Luke Donald, probably considered the best bunker player in the world. They had both of them on last night on Golf Channel. They run about 9 hours of pre-tournament coverage on Golf Channel. Webb Simpson and Luke Donald both agreed with saying that they would not ground their club because it would screw them up.
Yeah, they're just so used to not grounding their club and to not touching the sand in the bunkers that they probably won't even do it.
And before we let you go, Bill, I got to get your pick on tomorrow's start of the PGA. Of course, is it Tiger time, or you got an outside? Of course, that golf course is playing 7,600 yards. It's wet, and Bob Fuller seems to think it might be a shorter hitter. It'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Who do you like in this one? If you had to pick a pick,
I think Tiger's going to have a big week.
Okay.
He's been playing well, and I think he'll be at the top of the leaderboard. I think, and I don't think Phil
Mickelson.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's funny about Mickelson? I talked about it on my show on Monday at Bill. I've never seen anybody, and I like Mickelson. I love it. They call him Phil the Thrill for a reason, because Bob knows and Jimmy knows and you know and I know. Phil tries every shot. He could be buried. He could be buried in 700 trees. He's going to try to find an opening to get out of those trees. But I got to be honest with you. I've been making comments about Butch Harmon, his coach. Have you ever seen anybody, Mickelson, granted, is 40 years old, have you ever seen anybody lose the driver like Mickelson has this year? The last 3 or 4 months, he is not missing fairways, Bill. He is missing them by 40 yards. And what's scary to me is he's not only missing them right, he's missing them left.
No, he's struggling. He's all over the place.
Amazing.
With the driver, that's for sure. But somebody like him who hits his 3-wood a mile, he should just hit it every time. But, he's always been a grip it and rip it kind of guy. And it seems the last couple of weeks have been getting him in trouble, that's for sure.
It's amazing. Well, Bill, we appreciate you taking out some time for us here on the Dog and Pauly Show. We congratulate you on winning the Geneva City Golf Championship for 2012. Bob Fuller certainly would like to congratulate you as well.
Yeah, definitely, Bill. Congratulations, and hopefully we will see you sometime soon.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, guys, and thanks for having me.
All right,
Thanks,
Bill. Thank you very much.
We'll
Bill McDermott, the newly crowned Geneva City Golf Championship winner up in Geneva, a prestigious tournament that's steeped in tradition, over 40 years of tradition. So we want to thank Bill for joining us. And, of course, kudos goes out to young Matt Dijon as well. Matt losing in the finals, 36-0 final, which got contested on Sunday up at the first 18 were at Geneva Country Club, and the final 18 were played at Seneca Lake.
I think that's a big upset, beating Dijon.
He was going for 3 in a row. Yeah, he was going for 3 in a row.
And when you're he's like you say, he's playing at Central Connecticut State.
Yep.
That he's really into it. Billy's a little older.
Yep.
He was his coach.
Yeah, it's neat.
I think that's a bit of an upset, McDermott beating Dijon, but a big one. I don't think anybody wants anybody in Geneva, or whether it's our club championship, to just dominate, to win 3 years. Once you win 1 or 2 in a row, I think everybody are ready to see somebody else win. So
we should point out Bill McDermott's won that title before.
Yes.
This is the second time he's won it. He won it a few years ago, so it's good to have him on. Well, without further ado, it's always good to have our good friend Bob Fuller in. Bob, I know you've been running around like a scared crow down at Seneca Falls. A lot going on, lots of tournaments. You were telling me it's almost like a tournament every 2 days down there. So give us an update on what's happening. A lot of action, a lot of tournaments still to be played.
It has been. It's, we just, right now we're in a little batch where I think we've got 10 tournaments in 14 days.
Wow.
And so... I'm surprised I'm even here today.
I know. Well, we appreciate you coming down.
But it's, it's been good. Weather's been good, and like you said, we got skirted around the other day, and
it's amazing.
And that was a huge tournament we had at our club.
Mm-hmm.
So the weather's cooperated, almost too good because we do need the rain sometimes.
And your superintendent of grounds, Doug, has done a great job. The golf course is in very nice shape. We were playing on Tuesday, and course is still in nice shape.
Yeah, just enough water here and there to keep everything alive, but we do need rain, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, I know. And certainly, there's a lot going on, and I know that you and your staff are hard at work to try to please everybody coming in. I was down Monday hitting a few putts on the green. I saw the cardiac rehab people arriving, setting up for their tournament. I guess to your point, if you impress the people putting on the tournaments, they'll want to book you next year as well. That's the beauty of having tournaments.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having everything at our club again back. If you do one end good and do the other end good, you expect them to rebook for the next year.
That's right.
It's difficult when you only have control of one end, but now that we have total control, I think we're in a better position to have them rebook.
I know there's a lot of events coming up. I know in a couple of weeks you got the member, which is always a big tournament down there. Yep. A lot of people like to get together. I'm going to be playing with your good friend John King. I know you look forward to that. You'll be sending us off at 5 o'clock in the morning. You made a good line. Thank you. And I'll say it before you say it. But then, of course, you've got the club qualifiers, which is a big deal at Seneca Falls. That's coming up pretty soon, right?
Yep, coming up this weekend. Club championship, pretty much throughout all the courses are starting to heat up, and this is when you're going to see a little bit more players coming out to practice and work on their games and get ready for their big weekend.
Now, Pauly's not here today. Of course, this is the Dog H. Weber along with Jimmy Senecropian, our special guest, as usual. Comes in every 4 weeks. He tries to get in here, and we appreciate him taking time out at a busy Wednesday. And we certainly will let him get out of here before the hour eclipse so we can go back to work. Paul was talking about you overseeing the kitchen, the bar, the golf course, the pro shop. Since we've known each other a few years and we're good buddies, how has that gone? Have you gone home pulling your hair some nights? I know you got a good team down there, but you probably never have enough people to run the show. And if you have too many people, that's not a good thing from a financial payroll side of it. Yeah. So how do you balance that? How has it been going for you to beef up for tournaments and beef up for big events?
Well, it's everybody does it in our business.
Sure.
But it's a little more difficult because, we don't have a big staff.
Right.
But you have a lot of people coming in. You want to impress them and do it right. So you pull some people from other places. And, the waitresses around this area are great. Mm-hmm. They'll help out each other and come in to help out us from another facility. And I think that's the biggest thing about this area. It's very close-knit.
Well, when you were only the head pro running the pro shop, you had to deal with those issues, getting people off and on and selling equipment and doing lessons, etc. And now I'm sure there are moments during the day that you wonder when the pop truck is coming and the beer truck is coming and the food truck is coming.
Yeah. I was playing in a tournament Monday, and I was wondering if this person was coming in or this person. And,
It's a never-ending job, huh?
Yeah, you just, it's hard to concentrate on some things.
Well, I know. This is Dog and Pauly Show. We're going to take a break and go over some, mention our sponsors. Then we'll spend another 10, 15 minutes with Bob and let him get out of here because I'm sure he wants to get back to his job at the club. Of course, Jimmy and Bob, you guys can chime in. Jimmy, we talked to you being on the board down there. As you mentioned, you got the $100 deal still going on. Jimmy, want to talk a little bit about that? $100 gets you a foursome.
Sure, yeah. It's a special we ran in July, and it was very popular, so we decided to keep going in August. Foursome, $25, golf and cart, $25 a man, $100 a foursome. You just can't beat that deal to play a course like Seneca Falls Country Club, which, one of the main differences with Seneca Falls Country Club and a lot of other courses in the area is that, you can get out there in around in 4 hours just about any time, barring a league or a tournament going on. Our course is open and accessible. You might want to call ahead, 568-5202, if you're concerned about the OT time, 315-568-5202. But bring down $25 a man, get out there, play 18 holes of golf with a cart, come in and get lunch, for about $7-8 a guy, leave a little tip. So you have a great day for under $40, where a lot of places, courses the caliber of Seneca Falls, you're paying over $40 just for the greens fee. So.
Yep. And you get some reciprocals too, Bob, from other clubs.
Yep, we get a lot of people from the ladies' state am that we hosted, and I think a lot of people come and like to play our course.
And we should point out the membership of the Seneca Falls Country Club can take advantage of the reciprocals going other places and get Kevin or somebody in the pro shop to call in to reserve that spot.
That's the biggest thing about being a member. One of the biggest advantages of actually joining and being a member. Yeah. It works out at Seneca Falls. If you were to play a couple times a week and pay greens fees, the membership works out to be about the same if you were just paid the membership. But you get to go and play all these other great courses as a reciprocal, and just pay the $12-15 for a cart or whatever it would be. So definitely a huge advantage there to being a member, because you get to play, whether it's Clifton Springs.
A lot of member tournaments.
And we should point out that go on to SenecaFallsCountryClub.com, which I always pull up and look at the calendar and look at reciprocals and look at various things that are out there on the website. And that's a good visual tour to take the club as well. Check it out. And we have always a lot of good pictures on the front page. I see we had our young lady Ellen, who won the state am there, the junior am. Yep. She's still out. She was
women's am.
Yeah, women's am. So it's a nice website, SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. It'll give you all the information, the contact information. It allows you to look at the schedule of upcoming events at the country club, so you can schedule your golfing around those schedules and take part in some of the events. So a lot going on, and it's hard to believe, Bob, that in a span of, 3.5 weeks, we're looking at Labor Day potentially.
I know.
It's hard to believe.
And it's, in talking with Bill about, juniors and stuff, and we have a great stable of juniors at our club. John Sandless was one of 8 players picked by the U.S. to support the U.S. and go over and play Great Britain.
Yeah, that's United States. That's nationwide. He was one of a handful.
Unbelievable.
And, right now they're down in Mark Twain battling out with Harry Hyde. He's down there. And
for the junior amateur.
Yep. So, we have a nice group of juniors that are nationwide known now.
That's awesome.
So
and we should point out, John Sandless, I believe, got on St. Andrews when they were there.
Yep, played St. Andrews.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's not a reciprocal.
We're working on it.
Well, that is pretty neat.
Yeah.
To tell people that you played St. Andrews is pretty neat. So
but to play, to do what he just did is that's a feat in itself right there. You think of all the juniors that are playing golf.
Yep.
And he was one of 8.
That is pretty amazing. So
and that's one of the encouraging things, too. You mentioned I'm on the board, and we're trying to plan for the future with the club. We have such a great group of younger players down there now.
Yeah.
And that's always been a part of it. When I was a kid, I was one of those younger players. There's always been that group of guys that all they want to do in the summer is get together and play some golf, maybe work in the pro shop. A lot of them work in the pro shop. So right now we just got, I can think of about 5 or 6 of these young guys who are just great guys, love to play golf, and love the country club the way I did when I was a kid. So, in that regard, I'm excited about the future of the place.
That's right. By the way, our Dog and Pauly show is also brought to you by our good friend Dick Marshall, Marshall's Auto Sales, located on Routes 5 and 20, over 40 years in business. I see he had 6 or 8 cars on his lot. Now there's only like 4 out there, so that's good news. He must have moving those cars. Dick Marshall, of course, big racing fan, along with his buddy Ted Flock. Ted, of course, a a classmate of yours truly back in the 60s. We won't go back. 63 Miners Academy. My buddy Ted Flock and Dick hang out together. Danica Patrick had another men's finish the other day, I see, in the Nationwide Series, finishing 11th. But Dick Marshall, been in business, got some nice cars up there for your son, daughter, getting ready to go back to college. Got a broken down car situation? Check out Dick Marshall. He'll make a deal for you that you'll be pleased with. And the beauty of Dick Marshall, as we talked about for many, many shows here, if you buy a car from Dick, Tommy Thompson, who I was over the other day, he checked out something in my car. You can bring it back there, and Tommy will take care of it. So he's not going to run anywhere. He's been in business for over 4 decades. Marshall's Auto Sales in Seneca Falls on routes 5 and 20. Tell him you checked it out here on the Dog and Pauly. And our good friends, the Ullmans, Bob and Leslie Ullman, a sponsor of this show. Want to remind everybody, of course, they have a big performance coming up on Sunday of this week, August the 12th. It is Ron and Nancy One Song opening up for the legendary Roy Rogers Jr. That'll be at the famous Ullman Theater in my hometown, Lyons, New York. And I might add as well, Bob Ullman's hometown as well. They will be opening up Sunday, this coming Sunday, a 2 o'clock show. So that should be very interesting as well.
315-946-4604 for information on that show.
The Ullman Theater. Big one. That's exactly right. And I would be remiss if I did not mention our buddy Scott Trickler up at Lizard's Tailgater Lounge. Always a lot of laughs. He's got trivia night tonight. Wednesday is trivia night. $5 Coors Light pitchers, 35-cent wings, $2.50 blue whales from 6 to 9 o'clock. That is tonight. Trivia on Wednesday nights at Lizard's Tailgater Lounge. I was there the other night, and, of course, you got to laugh. Every time I go in there, there's always somebody at the bar that's quite hilarious. Not as funny as Bob Fuller, but pretty close. They have some fine clientele at Lizard's Tailgater Lounge. And, oh, by the way, if you like clams, Lizard's has clams, too. On Friday nights, 4 to 7, all you can eat for $6.99. I'm still waiting for Mary. That's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
That's a great deal. But knowing my luck, I'd go in there and he'd have 12 clams left. So that's something that Fuller would pull on the dog. But that's something that I'm sure that Scott Trickler would do as well. Coming up this Saturday, don't miss, it's the Tone Deaf Band with former members of Motley Crue, including Eric vocals and guitar and Danger Kitty. These guys rock. That's Saturday night of this week.
You'll be there in the front row for that one, right?
I go to bed at 9:30, Jimmy. I get up at 5:30. I go to bed at 9:30, and that doesn't excite me anymore at age 67. I don't expect to hear the loud music, even though there was a time before Bob was born that I used to go night clubbing.
Yep, way before my time.
Yeah. You weren't even a dream when I was born. It's 1945 vintage. So we're talking to Bobby Fuller. We think that
don't forget the Deluxe.
Oh, that's right. Our friends from the Deluxe. Good comment I missed because Paul always does that one. How could I say? We were up there last week visiting the Deluxe. Of course, Charlie and Linda Lee, the owners of the Deluxe, they always do a great job. My favorite staff up there is Allie. You want pasta, you want steaks, you want chops, you want a variety of food. They have it for you at a reasonable price. Up there on Genesee Street, an old legendary Deluxe has been around forever. And the beauty of that place, too, Jim, is they also do half portions, which is a neat trick. Mm. So if you're not into having a complete monstrosity of a portion of food, you can order the reduced portion, which, by the way, is plenty of food. We've tried it. Mm-hmm. So the Deluxe is always legendary. Of course, Charlie is a little sad, I'm guessing, as the Mets now have become one word that the New York Mets in the Baseball League have become one word that is sort of like me in my golf game. The word is irrelevant. Yeah. Once again, Bob, they're irrelevant.
Yep. Football season's coming, though.
Oh, my God, they're irrelevant. So the Mets are going again. You know, Sandy Alderson didn't make any moves to bring any stars to that team. And we all know about the Wilpons. They're the owners. They've struggled financially. So as the Mets will finish out the year with some 50 games to go, and unfortunately they got zero shot of making the division, zero shot of making the wild card. Good night, Irene, the Mets. Yankees, by the way, 2 guys are struggling.
Yeah, they are.
Hughes, bad news. Hughes had another bad performance last night. They lose 2 in a row now to Detroit. And by the way, they only have a 5-game lead in the loss column.
Yanks have lost their
against
last
Baltimore.
8 one-run games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
They're
8
struggling.
one-run games that they've lost.
Nova's not Casanova. He's struggling. Hughes pitched a miserable game, I thought, last night. Sabathia, I'm not sure which Sabathia you get. He looked good at last time out, but then the time before he blew a 4-0 lead against Oakland. You look at that lineup, and Freddie Cia Garcia, he throws at 65 miles an hour. Sometimes he gets those outs, and sometimes they hit it over the wall. I'm not sure. I'm not really pumped. My wife Mary's a big Yankee fan. She watches them every night. I'm not saying they're destined for doom, but I would say, Bob, their pitching leaves a lot to be desired. They're really shaky.
You know what? They've been struggling for the last
4
or 5 years of trying to find. Sometimes when you try to buy a pitcher, it doesn't always work out, and and some of these other teams have worked on bringing them up through their system, and there's a lot to be said for that, because I don't think they have a strong pitching staff. Not enough to make them go all the way,
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. They got the highest payroll, as you all know, in Major League Baseball. And, oh, by the way, if you're keeping track of stats, I know Jimmy's a stat man. When they played the Seattle team out there, the Mariners, they made an announcement that Mark Teixeira and A-Rod's yearly salaries combined is more than the entire payroll of Seattle.
Well, that's why Seattle has only won 21 games. I hate to say, I was looking there, 51. I don't. They haven't won a whole lot of games.
But how about it? We're talking to Bob Fuller, general manager, a good friend of ours at Seneca Falls Country Club. What about Houston? We have a problem. What about those Astros? How bad is that? I mean, they're like, what, 35-70? I mean, they've doubled their losses. Yeah. Just horrible.
I mean, it's
how do teams get so bad? I mean, Houston, you'd think their ownership's got some money. You'd think they would bring in some players.
But I think it goes kind of in circles. Yeah. But the top teams always seem to get the better players.
Yep.
And the better players always want to go to the better teams.
Well, we talked about Ichiro signing with the Yankees.
Yep.
The legendary first ballot Hall of Famer, with no doubt in their mind he'd be a first ballot. The only reason the Yankees could pick him up because they could carry his $18 million payroll and add it to theirs.
Right.
$18 million he gets a year. And he's not a young spring chicken anymore. He's still got some game. Plays a pretty good outfield for the Yankees.
Yep.
But there's a lot of teams that would shy away from picking up an $18 million tab.
Yeah.
And the Yankees didn't even sneeze. They said, okay, sure, no problem, we'll take him. The rich get richer and the poor get poor. I would be remiss. By the way, back on Deluxe, we want to remind everybody, check out the Deluxe restaurant in Geneva. Say hi to Charlie and Linda Lee. Of course, Pauly Hellstrom's still doing that pre-work in the morning. He's still hammering every morning, 4:30 in the morning. You got to love that guy.
Yeah.
And he gets he gets those Parmesan and the sauce made and gets all that stuff prepared. So, Pauly, I think he'll be doing that to the day the Lord takes him, which hopefully won't be for another 50 years.
Yeah.
But we missed Pauly this morning, so if you're checking us out, we had Bill McDermott on, the Geneva City Golf Champion. Of course, our regular guest here, Bob Fuller, comes in every 3 or 4 weeks to talk about the club. But we want to get your, Bob, before we let you go, and I know you want to get out, we want to get your opinion on the decision by the PGA. You commented earlier about their decision to allow the golfers to not consider any of those bunkers defined as bunkers. They're going to let you ground the club. You didn't like that call, so you think it's a little bit fearful of what happened 2 years ago with Dustin Johnson.
I think it is. There's a set of rules that everybody plays, and you know what? If they have to bring in more officials, they have to bring in more officials.
Uh-huh.
But to me, it's But Kiawah, that's a different area because that's all a lot of sand. Yeah.
Right off the ocean.
Yeah, so, maybe there were situations that they just deemed, I know they went through it and they, by any means, if they could have played at bunkers, they would have. But, for some reason, they must have thought, it was more fair and better to everybody if they kept it one way. So
what about, I would say, and when in doubt, just don't ground your club. Jack Nicklaus never grounded his club on any shots. Yeah. So you could always go that route. If you're unsure, just don't ground the club. But I don't like you kind of shocked me with that, dog, this morning. I didn't know
that's
that
official,
they were
baby.
do that.
Yep. All sand. We played like a waste bunker. You can ground your club, take a practice swing. And oh, by the way, they did ask the caddies, Bob and Jim, to be sure to show the etiquette and rake. Yeah. They did say to rake. As compliments to you guys who might be following the group.
Yeah.
So they are asking the caddies to rake up when you leave, but they're going to let you ground it, take a practice swing, and they did say, however, that if it's a fried egg, Jim, in one of those sandy areas, that's not a free lift. You don't get a free drop. You got to play it.
I should hope not. Jeez, what's going on over there?
But you know what? I've been watching the Olympics, so I haven't even paid any attention. I hate to say it to setting up for the PGA, and I should, but when it comes time, then I'll watch that.
By the way, speaking of the Olympics, let's talk about that. You got to be thrilled. We all got to be thrilled as Americans. We are kicking butt. I would like to chase China down for most golds. I don't like the fact they got more golds than we do. We're kind of jealous. We like to do everything. But what an outstanding Olympics for the Americans.
It's been a great Olympics. And, sometimes I think they take all the medal counts way too far.
Right.
And take away from the accomplishments of some of the athletes because,
God.
1 second they're talking about an athlete, and that next second, the medal count. To me, it doesn't matter. I like watching there's so many sports that you never get to see on TV.
Oh, I know.
And
I saw badminton. I saw table tennis. I used to go to the Elks Lodge years ago, play table tennis. They play a different type of table tennis.
Yeah, it's a different.
Man, oh man, did they wrap that ball?
Yeah,
it's amazing they keep it on the on the board. It's unbelievable.
Jim Boeheim's favorite sport.
Is that right?
He loves to follow the professional table tennis.
Yeah.
So he knows most of these people they're playing in there. As a matter of fact, I don't know. He's over there coaching the basketball team with Mike Krzyzewski and Mike D'Antoni. I don't know if I wouldn't be surprised if Boeheim at some point went over to watch some of the table tennis. He's a big-time professional table tennis fan, if you can believe that.
I was watching the girls' volleyball last night.
I saw that. It was awesome.
What a great match.
Against China. Oh, yeah. You know what? What really got me about that was... that
was great.
Me and my wife and my daughter watched it, and my daughter's 6, and she was on the edge of her seat. She was so into it, and she would look at the scoreboard and say, Jesus, 19-19.
Let's go.
Come on, U.S., we need to get this point.
Yep.
And then, she'd cheer. So it was good to see her get so excited about a sporting event.
The sad news is both American teams are going for the gold. Good news, bad news.
Yeah.
One of us are going to lose. One of us is going to advance and win the gold. So it's 4 Americans going at it. So it's pretty neat.
Yep.
I was a little disappointed at the end of that volleyball game. Misty May Trainer just kept going around the outside of the court. In my mind, it was showing up the Chinese team a little bit. They had just lost. They hugged, shook hands. The Chinese team sat down, and then Misty May Trainer's like running around the field like Cal Ripken after his consecutive game streak. And it wasn't a gold medal game. That turned me off a little bit. Not so much her partner there, but Trainer. I just thought felt like she was rubbing it in a little bit to the Chinese, the way she was acting inside the arena. I don't think you would have seen the Chinese women act that way had they won that match.
Yeah.
But, teach their own.
Well, the sad news of the Olympics, we had it on a show on Monday morning. The Chinese, the South Koreans, and the ladies from Indonesia playing badminton got all disqualified and thrown out of the Olympics for laying down so they could get a better draw.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have thrown them out.
Really?
You know what? The rules are set. If you want to not win a match because you think it can help you win more, then there's something wrong with the way they do the rules there. Yeah. But to throw them out...
they banned them.
Yeah, I just thought that was... There's a lot of people getting tossed out of these Olympics because of stuff they're doing on Twitter or... every day it seems like...
I guess...
a runner, our soccer player, a runner, I can't remember, left the Olympic Village to go see his wife at a hotel.
Yep.
They threw him out. The Olympics, because you're not allowed to leave the
village.
Village. So, I don't know. It just seems
I guess to argue the point with you, to take the other side of it, the Olympics are first and foremost sportsmanship. And what better sportsmanship is to play the game to your hilt, to your skill sets.
Yep.
Why if you got if you're a 10 skill set, why play to a 2 just to get ahead and to advance to a weaker team? So I guess
unfortunately, like Jim said, that's it's kind of the way it's been played.
True.
And now all of a sudden things get changed.
Right.
They know what they're doing, and the rules allow it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I guess 6 of one half a dozen.
You go both ways.
Yep.
Maybe they should look at the competition set up for badminton and try to do it so there's not a situation. I mean, I actually don't even know. I'm assuming that they had some type of round robin group play.
Yep.
And then when it went to the elimination rounds, they figured if they lost, they could play a better team in the first or second round, or stay on the opposite side of a bracket of maybe another team. But yeah, it was comical how obvious they made it that they were trying to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, before we let you go, and we are going to let you go in a couple minutes, but my point, Bob, is we talk about you and we talk about Kevin Muirhead, my buddy down there, and talk about Wendy. Let's talk a little bit about your kitchen staff. Give us the names of the people running the kitchen for you and bringing out that food or making that food to make it possible for everyone to enjoy it. We never spotlight those folks, and I think we ought to give them a little kudos as well.
Well, I got, my head chef is John Stenrick, and
right.
He's a local person that's been around for working a couple of area places, and he's really kind of fell into his own spot right with us.
That's awesome.
Quick, he can cook, He can.
And Vicky Murray is my other cook there, and I got a bunch of other people that do a great job. But those are my two main people that really do a great job.
And at the pro shop, we see Kevin a lot because obviously he's on duty when we're down there. But you also have a couple young kids, Dennis.
Yep, I got Dennis Lay who
Fantastic.
goes to St. John Fisher. And,
nice.
And opposite of me, he's 6'7".
He
he's
caddied
tough.
for you down in New York State Open too, so that must have been a sight seeing you guys go down there.
Frack right there.
6'7".
And you also have another short young guy. Brandon is his name?
I got Brandon Dauber who's in there, and he does a great job.
Yep.
Harry Hyde.
Harry?
Does a great job.
Yeah.
I got a nice staff all the way through, and they're very cordial to everybody.
It's nice.
Yeah. Except you.
They're even nice to me. Well, I like them picking on me. They're nice to me and John King and Brad Jones. That's all that counts about, right? Yeah. So,
John's wearing off on me. I like him now. So.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, don't say that. By the way, I got to tell you, folks, it was a great line. Fuller always has the great line. We couldn't play last Sunday, and we had to call in, or last Saturday, had to call in, which is the rules. So I call in. Who do I get? I'm praying it's Kevin Muirhead, but it happens to be Bob Fuller. Pick up the phone. It was late on a Friday night. He was getting ready to entertain his guest down there at the club. And I advised Bob that the Weber, King, and Jones group would not be playing on Saturday. And all of a sudden I hear this, hallelujah, hallelujah. I guess you were excited that we weren't playing.
It's the first time everybody played on time.
Now, wait a minute. We played Tuesday. We finished 3 hours and 40 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
3:40.
You only played 9 holes.
No, we played 18. I'm going to tell you what. We're going to have drag you around on Sunday with those carts, see how fast we're picking up the pace. We got rid of that snake game. Thank God, that putting game. Oh, man. That drove us nuts. But anyways, I had a laugh. Fuller's singing Hell You in the background that we couldn't play. So you're just a brutal guy. But it's fun. You're a fun guy to have on, and we appreciate you coming down here.
Well, I appreciate it.
We appreciate you plugging the club.
Yep.
As myself and Jimmy being members, we look forward to seeing your smiling face. So thanks again for coming down.
Let's make our PGA picks.
Oh, yes. Okay. I
right.
already went on record. Pick Tiger. I just think I'm not a big fan of his. I am picking him. I just think he's due. And I think maybe the course being wet, playing longer, is an advantage to him. I'm going on record Tiger Woods. Jimmy, your pick, and then we'll leave the pro to last.
The PGA Championship produces unknown winners, whether it's Sean McKeel.
Yep.
So it's different than the other majors. And I really want to say Matt Kuchar because I just think he's on the edge. I think he's
Jimmy's
on the verge
of
of breaking through, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
You know who I'm gonna pick?
Yep.
J.J. Henry.
J.J. Henry.
Yep.
He almost didn't get in the event.
Almost didn't.
He won last week at the Reno Tahoe Stableford system.
I'm trying to take the longest shot I can because that's how this thing works. This
That's like
PGA Championship is different than the other majors.
That's like picking John King to win the 2012 Seneca Falls Country Club Championship. That's a long shot.
That is a long shot. Is he going to try to qualify this year?
He might. Everyone's eligible to qualify, right, Pro?
Oh, and I hope not.
I got J.J. Henry.
We got to try to get it in play in the whole round.
All right, Bob. We've taken our shots at Weber and King and Jones. All right, let's leave you with a last remark about who you're picking for the PGA.
You know what? I'd love to go with like a Jim Furyk, but he just can't.
Poor guy.
Can't pull it through.
Poor guy.
I think he's going to contend, but I like Keegan Bradley.
Go back to back.
I just like someone. They have to be young, I think, and but there's a lot of knowledge to that course. So, that's probably what I'm going to go with is Keegan.
Okay, the dog picks Tiger. Bob Fuller, our head pro and general manager, picks Keegan, and our man Jimmy picks a wild one, a Finger Lakes racetrack horse winning the Kentucky Derby, J.J. Henry.
Hey, I'm the only one that's got one right this year. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, that is a classic move, Jimmy. Well, Bob, thanks a lot for coming down.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll have you back in about a month.
Right.
If you can stand us, we'd love to have you come back.
I'll come back.
And our buddy will be here, Paul. So, again, we miss Paul Hellstrom. But, hey, thanks for joining the Dog and Pauly. It's always fun. And thanks to Bill McDermott for spending a few minutes talking about his triumph as the Geneva City Golf Champion for 2012.
Bill.
Congratulations, Bill, from
Good job.
the Dog and Pauly Show. So, folks, until Monday morning when we do Weber on Sports at 9:30 live, we hope that you'll join us for that show. And, of course, next week on the Dog and Pauly, you never know who we might have in the studio. It's always a lot of fun. And we want to thank Bob Fuller once again. Thanks, Jimmy Senecropi, for chiming in and picking this shocking selection of J.J. Henry. Pass the aspirins to Jimmy. That's the Dog and Pauly. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your week. And hello to all the farmers out at Rodman Lot Farm.